Ahoy there, chummers, and welcome to what I'm going to call the second episode of Shadow Talk, which is apparently a series where we just kick back and talk about the philosophy of Shadowrun and what makes this game so great. I have no idea if this style of video is going to continue to be a thing on this channel. A lot of people liked my last video that was done in this style. So, who knows? We'll see how this one does, and maybe I'll continue it, maybe I won't. We'll see what happens. But anyway, this video is going to be a fairly quick one, not as long as the previous one, because this video is a response to my previous video where I asked if Shadowrun has lost its soul. And the reason why I asked if Shadowrun had lost its soul is because somebody asked me on one of my other videos whether I thought Shadowrun 5th and 6th edition had lost the soul that made 1st, 2nd, and 3rd edition Shadowrun so great. I put this question to a lot of the Shadowrun community and got a lot of really good responses out of people. No death threats, that's a plus. But everybody presented their argument in a very well-reasoned and calm manner. It was a really good discussion that we had. And the prevailing attitude among people was, barring complaints about Catalyst Game Labs themselves, which is a whole other issue that we can get into at a later point if y'all want to. But barring any issues with Catalyst themselves, most people seem to think that Shadowrun had evolved, but it hadn't lost that core cyberpunk soul that it started out all the way back in the 1980s. And that's kind of where I ended up as well. I did mention in that video that I don't have much experience with Shadowrun 5th and 6th edition. I've read very little 5th edition. I've read no 6th edition stuff, so I couldn't make that determination about the later editions. I did mention that when I started reading 4th edition, that I felt that Shadowrun had indeed lost its soul. I declared that Shadowrun 4th edition was not the Shadowrun game that I knew and loved and that I grew up playing. And then as I read the supplements that came out for 4th edition, I kind of realized that, the core, that soul that made Shadowrun so great is still there, even if the core book didn't display that soul. That soul came through in the source books and the world building that happened in a lot of the source books, just like with Shadowrun 2nd edition and Shadowrun 3rd edition. So I'm going to come down on the side that, Shadowrun has evolved, but at its core, barring mechanics and all that stuff, it's still the same basic game. It's still that pink mohawk, that cyberpunk 1980s cyberpunk feel that everybody knows and loves. And something else that stuck out to me that several people commented on was that Shadowrun is what you make it. Because it is a role-playing game, because it is a collaborative effort between a game master and players to tell a story and play a game set in a particular world, you can make it whatever the hell you want. So if you want to play in a new edition because you like the mechanics better, but you don't like what's happened with the timeline, that's fine. Just set your game in an earlier period of Shadowrun. Or, there's a couple of supplements for Shadowrun 4th edition in particular, and I know there's one for Shadowrun Anarchy. I think there's one for 5th or 6th edition as well, where they have rules for running retro Shadowrun games set in the 2050s, which is the time period that the first couple of editions were set in. So, there's plenty of opportunities out there and plenty of things that will help you make Shadowrun into that game that you remember and know and love from past editions. And, at the end of the day, if you don't like any of the new editions, you still got the old editions to fall back on. The old editions are great. It is a fantastic RPG. It holds up really well. That's partly why I've run Shadowrun since high school for 25, almost 20, over 25 years now, actually, just about. I think I got Shadowrun 2nd edition when I was 14, 15, I don't know. It's been a while. So, that's where I'm gonna end up on this. Shadowrun has evolved. Shadowrun has changed over the years. Mechanics have changed, some ways for the better, some ways for the worse. The company has changed hands, and again, sometimes for the better, sometimes for the worse. A lot of people would argue a lot of it is from the worse. But at the end of the day, Shadowrun is still Shadowrun, and you can do whatever you want with it, which is part of what makes this game so freaking great. So anyway, told you this was going to be a quick video, quick response to my last video, just to kind of bury the hatchet. Let me know if you like this style of video, by the way, and if you do, maybe we can come up with a couple of other things that we can talk about. Let me know what other what other topics rather you would like me to cover using this style in the comment section below, and I will see you chummers next time. And that's the chip truth, chummers. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more Shadowrun content. Hit that notification bell so you will always know when I upload a brand new Shadowrun video, and until next time, remember to shoot straight and never, ever deal with a dragon.